What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. It's actually two separate articles, but I think they dovetail quite nicely with each other. The overall theme here being a Screen Rant leaker saying that everything we've thought about these gaming journalists is true. They're corrupted, the rules they have to apply to. And on the other end of that, before we get to that, there's the ones that are still trying to do the con. And that's that all the culture war stuff that we've been talking about, all the censorship and the ideology, that's not video games and the gaming journalists doing that. That's us, with the players. They're blaming it all on us. And so here you can see here in an article on indie100.com, this guy here, Jake Brigstock, of course, coping and seething, took issue with two of the Steam creator lists, of which there's many, and the woke content detector and RPG HQ. Of course, there's DEI detected and the Sweet Baby Inc. Curation list, which he didn't even have the stones to mention. But here's how he phrases it: an online group has firmly brought the culture war of woke and anti-woke into video games, and I would suggest that we didn't bring it. It's there, and so thus it brought the participants in it. More than 1,500 titles have been rated on an absolutely wild woke detector Excel spreadsheet. And by the way, all these curation lists have slightly different criteria of what gets you on a list, but they're all very effective, which is why they're upset about it. And that's not the worst part. More than half of them are listed as not recommended because they contain details and features that are considered woke. He says, what a world we live in. What happened to just being able to enjoy games? That's what they're there for, right? Well, what happened is we were enjoying games, and then we didn't gatekeep hard enough. And these activists were able to come in and insert all of their ideology, and it ruined story and gameplay. And so then we, thankfully, came up with the idea of these content creators, the Cabrutus Rambos out there, and did a real service. We didn't do that. They did that. They did that. And he says here, video games are for absolutely everyone, and entitled few should not hold any influence when it comes to so-called recommending games. Anyone can recommend it. He's really upset is that they have relevance, that people are actually listening to them. And he's trying to do this thing of like, no. It's not us. It's not the mainstream media, games journalists pushing this. It's you guys that is directly contradicted by this beautiful thing we have right here, Screen Rant Whistleblower. And of course, Screen Rant among the IGNs, the Kotakus, and all the other ones who just have these shill article hit pieces that come out on stories. And now we're finding out exactly how they treat their employees. And here we go. So this is a whistleblower specific to Fandom Pulse. And this is talking about Screen Rant and how they treat their writers. They pay their writers less than 0.01 cent a word, and they make writers rewrite articles repeatedly. So the result is even less than 0.01%, cents a word. I have screenshots of their training, but I am not allowed to share them contractually. I think I am allowed to summarize. They specifically say no writing anything negative about race swaps. So even if you, as a Screen Rant reviewer or article writer or commentator, have a problem with a race swap, you are not allowed to explain why or what that problem is. This is categorized as a bad opinion. I thought that was hilarious. No matter how outrageous the race swap, criticism is a bad opinion, and you're not allowed to have bad opinions. And they will refuse to publish it. Everything else is exactly what you would expect. They'd even go so far as to say the word Asperger's is offensive, which is dumb. All the other typical woke shit, transgender propaganda, preferred pronouns, and making sure nothing is offensive to the wokies. They encourage content warnings and sensitive language. Of course they do. It's what you hear all the time. You're not allowed to write someone who suffers from a disability. As someone with a disability, that made me laugh. What nonsense. Not allowed to say crippled or refer to healthy people as normal. Homosexual as a term is offensive. They prefer gay or lesbian. Never say sexual preference because, yeah, right? You get the idea. They do not want writers to mention suicide in any way. Not saying words like policeman or chairman because those are gendered or colloquial guys. Yeah. Also, they really emphasize that the article should not say anything. They say this without saying it, that you're just supposed to be repetitive. It's writing for the lowest common denominator. They all vote. And their training is unpaid. That is illegal in both Canada, where they're based, and the USA, where many employees are based. I raised this issue with them and was dismissed. They want riders to voluntarily and illegally train for 1 week for free. I thought this was ironic because of the moral high ground of the sensitivity training, with zero sensitivity or respect for my time. I know it's kind of obvious from their website and their slants, but I want to report to you that it's not organic. They train riders to write woke. Thank you. Got them. And this is obviously, you could copy and paste this Screen Rant for probably many of these sites. This is what we expect from mainstream media entertainment like Screen Rant, Kotaku, IGN, CBR, and Bounding into, well, not Bounding. Bounding is one of the ones that has been pretty, I mean, that was started by John F. Trent, but it shows these corporations are far worse in indoctrinating their writers than we would expect. The writers work for token payments or for free most of the time, meaning to remain there. They propagandize on behalf of corporations like Disney and for clout's sake alone. So there you go. There's the Screen Rant insider saying exactly what we thought, that yes, it's not organic. They hire people and then train them to be writers and then pay them pennies, literally, just in the hopes of being a legitimate journalist, which you'll never be if you're working for them. Holy hell. More wins, more wins. The boofing of white pills continues. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.